guys, welcome to Appliance Pro Advisor. Hey, how you doing? My name is Gary. I am going to show you in this video how exactly you replace the heater in the back of a GE dryer. This heater is a little different than most of the heaters and dryers, and if you're a little bit handy, you can do it yourself. If not, always consult an expert. So without further ado, let's go. Okay guys, what are you doing? I am not the best videographer, but here we go. So unplug the dryer first, and then you're going to take off 2 1/4-inch screws in the back corners where you see them here. All right, as the video goes along, you're going to notice some edits and stuff because this first part of the video is 40 minutes. We don't necessarily need that long to show you how it's done, but I wanted to show you in real time, unlike some of the other videos where they're not showing you exactly everything that you might need. Okay, so now there are 2 Phillips, or you could use a small square but screwdriver, and the reason I don't use my drill on this is because the screws I just don't want to take a chance on stripping anything, so I just use my hand Phillips. You can use either or. If you're doing this for the first time, I suggest on this one you just use your regular Phillips here. All right, so we have 2 screws. You see exactly where they're at. And during the video, if I'm doing something and the camera's not exactly pointed on it, I will describe in detail exactly what I'm doing at this point here. All right, so here I am taking off 2 screws underneath. In a moment, I'll move my camera so you can see exactly where the screws are. But if you look underneath where I'm looking there, it's very noticeable where the 2 screws are at. Alrighty then, and taking off the second screw. I think I'm about to move the camera here in a couple seconds, to show you where the screw is located. All right, so all this process, and here we go, and all this process here is to get the drum out of the way. Now there is a common problem with the heater on this, which they do have a fix for, which I'm going to show you what the problem is and what the fix is for this. Second, we're gonna pull this out here and keep going and stuff, and there we go. Now you pull the second screw out, and with those 6 screws removed, you can lift the top. All right, you just pull it back and slightly out of the way a little bit so you can access these 2 black 1/4-inch screws, which I'm going to pull out here. One of them you don't see, but I'm about to move the camera again so you can see the hole I just pulled it out of. And there, right there, and there's the other one right there. Okay, once you get the screws, I use a magnetic tip screwdriver so it easily pulls out. All right, once you pull those out, you're going to lift away from the cabinet, and then you're going to I'm going to put the camera more down on the floor so you can kind of see what I'm doing from here on out. And you're going to kind of lift, kind of wiggle it a little bit because it's sitting on 3 spikes. I think I do point them out later where it's sitting on the floor there, and there you have the inside. So there's the drum, and it's that easy. If you ever wanted to just clean out if you see that dirt hole where the wheel is, there's a lot of lint in there. You can go in there and clean it out. This is where you can do it. Watch the wire that's connecting to the sensors. You see the wire right off to the side there. It's connecting to the sensors. Okay, all right, now I'm pointing underneath the drum because I wanted to show you how I take the belt off, because can't see what I'm doing. So what I do is I pull back on the wheel. It loosens the belt. I pull the belt away from the wheel in front of it. Don't snap it's on a kind of a spring-loaded wheel there, and that's it. Once the belt is loose, guess what? The drum kind of slides right out. Be careful when the drum, I watch from the top, but be careful when you're sliding that the belt doesn't snag on something like this. I didn't let it snag. What I did was I touched it on top so it would fall off, but there's some sharp stuff. Sometimes it's sharp there, and if you cut a little thing in the belt, once you start it, you could snap the belt. So be careful of that when you're doing it. Okay, a little edit there, and so I'm shining my flashlight. I'm about to show you, there is the issue right there. If you see, the wire is off, it's burnt off the unit. So what they do is they give you a thicker gauge wire. I'm shining, there we go. There's a little better view of it. You can see the edge is burnt a little. Yep, there you go. So you got to clear. Oh, my flashlight. I'm not the best video in there, but you see what happened. And it burns a little bit of edge off the heater as well. So the heater usually has to be replaced. So if you see the heater edge is brown where it comes off, but that wire is burnt at the end, that one is not a real bad example of it. I've seen them where it's completely burnt off. But you see the one I'm touching there? Sometimes that can be cleaned and you can put the new one on there. But if it's not a perfect square like on the other side, I would recommend you do the heater. Otherwise, you can spark the new wire and you can happen again. But the new wire is a thicker gauge, and I've done a lot of these lately, and no one's called back for second repair on it with the new wire that they give. I imagine they're building like 2,000 of these a day in their plant in Kentucky. So there's probably, and not many percent of them are having the issue, but the ones that do have the issue, it can be fixed. All right. It's not a huge, heavy deal. We just got to get the part. I'm going to list the part number in the top of the comments below and in the description, so you can go pick this up. I don't have a link for where you can get it. You can just get it from geappliances.com and get that part if you want to try to do this yourself. See, when I cut the wire off, I cut the holder off, which is plugged into the hole in the back of the dryer. I get that out of there because the new wire will have its own. I just yank that sucker out. Come on, baby. Let's get out of there. Get out of there. I'll use my wire cutter just to dig into that a little more later. But I'm cutting off the edges there. I'm cutting off the wire ties. I'm cutting away the tape. You'll see this. All right, there's going to be a portion here where it's going to get really, really difficult. It's even difficult for me at this time right now to get this wire out of the one place that I got to get it from. All right, I'm trying to line up the camp. There we go. All right, so you see where I cut at the top there. All right, I'm cutting just the tape, moving the tape away and getting that out of there. Right, this is a really unprecedented view of it, where the guys with the other cameras, they have a sitting there and it's fading out, and they get back and it doesn't really show you exactly. Some of these other YouTube videos don't show you exactly what you got to do this thing. Now this is the tough part. The rest of it, the heater and stuff like that, is not that hard. But this, what I'm about to do here, or what you're going to see in a few minutes, is a pain in the butt. So, okay, I pull that wire. The wire is attached to that's the motor that's attached to the connector to the motor. The purple wire is attached there, and that's where I'm pointing up. And you can see I have to pull that out of there. It doesn't pull out by hand. So I take a flathead screwdriver, a small one, and stick it in, and I'm going to keep shoving it in there because there's two locking tabs. I have to move both locking tabs on each side up. I wish they would just use one. All right. And both locking tabs up and pull that wire out at the same time. It takes, sometimes I've done it in like 30 seconds, and sometimes it's taken me like a full 5 minutes to do. It is a pain. I do not suggest, they say cut the wire and pull, but sometimes I'll wrap the wire around my fist, wrap it around my hand, make a fist, and pull while I'm pushing in with the screwdriver. Now, sometimes I will bend the white connector a little bit, but as long as you don't bend it too much, it will actually come out of there. It will fit right back in, no problem. You can finagle it back in. See, I got another smaller screwdriver. I've seen some guys make a kind of tool, like a little fork tool. Now I'm putting on my gloves because there's sharp edges around, and if I pull back, and I don't want to, cut myself more than I've already been cut up in the past. So, you can throw on some gloves so you can have some little less fear about getting my pretty hands cut. My side job is a hand model. I don't want to jeopardize that. All right, guys. So, all right. So you shove that in there. There's 2 locking tabs. And what I want to do is get to the portion of the video where you can maybe, when I pick it up again, maybe I'll shine the flashlight in there good enough so you can see the locking tabs. Okay guys, so it took me 3 minutes, and of course I pulled out that 3 minutes of the video. I edited that out, and here it comes. It's about to come out now, and it's 3 minutes. That's one of my longer sides that I've taken, but the wire has come out. And you see, if you look, let me see if I remember to, I did this video a couple weeks ago. I'm just checking the tabs there. That's what I was doing there, but the wire is out. Oh, what I'm doing is I bent the top of the piece a little bit. I was just bending it back down so it'll fit in there, fit back into the motor connection smoothly, and that's not going to be a problem. I mean, you'll see the bend. You'll see if it's a little bit moon shaped after you put the screwdriver in there. Get a real thin screwdriver or something flat and thin to go in there. I got to find something that's better than a small flathead screwdriver. I looked around Lowe's, I didn't see anything, but maybe I'll invent something. You know, I think maybe I can cut a piece of a fork off or something like that. I'll figure it out. All right, so what's going on? What am I doing here? Why is it taking so long? Okay, so I'm moving around, and I'm probably opening up the bag with the wire in it here. Let's see what's coming up here. Okay, it's part of the video here. I'm about to show you the new wire. That's what I was doing. I was looking for the wire in the bag, and there it is right there, along with a couple of zip ties. All right, I'll open that up, and we're going to start putting that in a second here. There's a wire, and you'll see it comes with its own connection. Remember, I pulled off that back piece that was where it was connected into the hole back there. So the first thing I'm going to do is connect that, just push that right into that hole right there. That's it. All right, and this wire, I'm going to do it, and the tabs are going to face up. Notice where I'm showing, they're going to face up. All right, and I'm going to put them into the connector where they face. Let me show again. It's very important. If you put it in the wrong way, it won't slide in. They face up, so in the up direction from where it's facing, and it snaps right in. It just clicks. All right, and then I just throw that, just straighten that back out. Make sure the wires, all the wires that are connected to the heater, are on the back side of that wheel. All right, I'm just making sure all the wires are not tangled or whatever. Not worried about the purple wire right now. That's the only loose one that's going to go on the back side of the wheel, and it's going to be tied off with zip ties and tape. All right, and just plug that in. Boom, that's it. Put that back there. The wire is good. The wire is on there, all right? And we'll tape and zip tie that down here. I forget, did I do that first or did I pull the heat? We're about to pull the heater off now. I believe, yeah, we're panning up and I'm pointing to the heater. Yes, we're gonna pull the heater off now. The heater is fairly, you have 2 screws. I would suggest you take a picture. I have this memorized because I've done a lot of these, but you take a picture of the wires. All right, I'm sorry about the camera quality here. I did this on my iPhone. All right, so we're gonna pull all these off. I suggest, if you can't pull them off, I use a flat blade screwdriver just to kind of shoehorn them off a little bit here or that, but don't do it. When you do it, squeeze it very lightly around the, right, not at the top of it, because you can break it off, but squeeze it very lightly. I suggest you if that's hard, then get a flat head and pull it off. Remember, blue on top, the double brown on bottom. Okay, and remember, double brown on bottom and stuff like that. I want to take a picture of the wires, I'm showing you guys. I do take a picture of all the wires. All right. For that wire, that last one I took a picture of, it doesn't matter which wire goes where, but you want to put them back in the same place if you can. This wire will fit in there, will sit there when it's ready to go. I checked to make sure, but if the heater connection on that heater looks a little funny and different from the new one, or different from, see these 2 I'm pulling off? Those bottom 3 should look exactly alike and clean. All right, those bottom three, I repeat, should look exactly alike and clean. If that wire, that purple wire that goes in there, does not look like the other two clean ones there, if there's a little bent, if it's a little burnt, and it doesn't, or whatever, replace the whole heater. Otherwise, you're going to be doing this again. It's very important. That one single one that's on the right, the purple wire, must look as clean and straight as the other two. All right. So we're going to get the wires off, and let me get these, and you'll see the wires in there. It's going to be hard for me to show on this video, so I'm going to do a little magic of editing now. Okay, let's continue here. I'm going to put my gloves back on, because once in a while the cut on the edge of that heater there, it's not supposed to be really sharp, but I don't take any chances. I just take a 1/4-inch nut driver. And now you have to be careful. The space to get to the nut driver is kind of thin for most 1/4-inch nut. I use one of these ratchets, and the ratchets usually are a 1/4 inch. That's where you put the nut drivers into, but by themselves, the ratchet itself works just fine. Sometimes I don't get all the wires off because the wires at the top can be a little bit difficult, so I may pull 1 or 2 down. Use a magnetic screwdriver. Don't do what I'm doing. Use something magnetic if you have a problem. You can use. There are also Phillips heads as well. So they are Phillips 1/4. It's easier for me to do it to take it off as a Phillips. It's easier for me to take it off with the 1/4. Easier for me to put it back on with the Phillips, but I've done it both ways. I mean, I just blindly do that. This is a job that I blindly do. Now you see, I still have some wires at the top there, so I kind of take it and let it sit for a second so I can have better access to those wires. All right. Sorry about the video quality there, but you can see there's 4 wires. 2 of them are bridged together. So I kind of just wiggle it a little bit, do it very lightly. There you go. Those two, the 2 on the side, there's 1 on the back, 1 on the front, 2 on the side. The 2 on the side are half the size of the other ones. So be careful when you do it, because if you break the wire, you're going to have to do some little rewiring, or you may have to get a new wire harness. Wire harnesses are about probably $150. You don't want to run that wire harness for that driver. If you do that and you're not experienced with this, you just want to buy a new driver. There is the tip right there. That tip is burnt. It's just, there's a millimeter that's burnt off of it. I mean, it's so small. That's enough. That might as well be 5 miles to an electrical current. So that millimeter is tiny. It looks like you could save some money by just putting the wire in. Let me tell you something. You use that a couple times, it's going to burn out. It's got to look exactly square and clean as the other ones. Or if it's exactly square and you can clean it off with a wire brush and the stuff comes off and it's clean, you can use it. But if it doesn't, replace the heater. All right. Again, there is a heater kit. Part number will be in the description below. The first thing of the description and the first set of comments. And look at that. There is the thermostats. Now, I'm taking the thermostats off of this heater because the thermostats are fine, and putting them on the other one. You don't have to spend money on thermostats. A couple of thermostats are inexpensive. I've seen them online for $15, and then a couple of $30, $40, $50 for the other one. One of the smallest thermostat, I think the heat limit thermostat is the most expensive one, but you don't need to replace any of them, because in a case like this, when that wire burns out because of a problem that was not caused by the thermostats. All right. So you just want to get the thermostats, and you can see where you take them off and exactly where you put them on. It does not matter. I mean, I think the third thermostat, the smallest one, is only one way you can screw that on. The other 2 won't matter if you put them on backwards. All right. It doesn't matter at all. All right. So I'm going to do some magic editing video here because we're already at 20 minutes, and we're going to get to the putting it on. Okay. And here we go. So we have putting the heater back on here. We're going to run through this. Let's go. We're going to put the heater on. It's taking me so long. That's right. I didn't have a magnetic tip. Well, I did, but the one screw there is the only one that's open and out of the way that you can put on. I lined it up with the holes, hold it there, and put the one with the magnetic tip there. Get it straight, get it straight, get it straight. Come on now. And bam. Okay, so now it kind of, there's only one on there, so I want it to kind of hold to the side a little bit, lean it down. I don't want it to fall. There you go. All right, so I can go get my other tools and stuff, my other ones, and kind of at least get one more one more screw in there to hold it. And yep, grabbing one of the screws from the bottom. I'm gonna try to hold that up. Now I've been doing it so long I can balance the screw and a non-magnetic ratchet and line them up and get them in there. I've done it so many times. I remember when I tried it the first time, I was like, oh man, because the shield that's around the heating element itself, where the screws go, is thin. It's not thin, it's just too small to get some of my ratchets down there, so some of my extensions in there. So I just used the ratchet itself, and that is what I think I'm doing there. Is I'm gonna get, there we go, I want to hold that there. I'm gonna put one, oh, I did put the wires at the top, by the way. You can do that from the pictures you took, so you know what wires go where. All right, and you see how I got that. Look at that, look at that, I'm so good. I did that without a magnetic. Screw that in. That's going to stay up now. Bam. Bada bing, bada boom, you know. All right. So that's in there. Okay. So might as well put the other ones in, right? Going to put that in there. When I figure out how to video edit properly and I can do fast forwarding stuff and all that, there we go. I line it up. Just ratchet that in. Making a sound. I muted the actual sound from the video I was doing there. All right, like I said, I can't, I'll figure out one day video quality, but I wanted you guys to get the gist of this right here, of what an appliance technician is. A technician that people think about plumbers when they don't need plumbers. People think about AC techs even if they don't need an AC tech. You think about it, it's out there, electrician, it's out there, but no one ever thinks of an appliance technician. And most of that reason is because when you build a house, you don't need an appliance technician. You need one afterwards, but an AC tech or AC guy, you usually need that when you're building the house, right after the plumber, the electrician, all the guys. But this type of technician is one of the few. I used to do TVs before that. It's one of the few that come into the home way after the house is built or new or old or whatever, and does a very important job, especially if your unit's under warranty. It's probably more important than anything, because everybody takes their appliances for granted. You see I'm wiring the tip here. Everybody takes their appliances for granted until it goes down. Then you realize, in this case, you got to go to the laundromat. Right now, if you live in New York, Brooklyn, where I'm from, laundromats across the street, laundromats are everywhere, no big deal. In fact, most apartments you can't have a washer and dryer in it. But down here in Florida, and here I've been up in Panama City for a few months. There's definitely more laundromats than where I was down in Central Florida last year. It's a lot more up here than there is down there. Down there is really difficult. All right, so people, that's where the refrigerators go. That's bad for everybody. Stoves and all that stuff. It's a very, very important job. I want everybody to understand there are appliance technicians. There are not enough in the country. They're always hiring. If you're interested in getting into something like this and you have some electrical or mechanical, a little bit of experience, you can get a job like this. I don't want to say what the pay is. I get paid pretty well at the company I work for now. I get paid pretty well, much more than I did at the last company that I left. Much more. So you're going to get what your experience is. Just do some research and stuff. You see the wires I put there. There you go. So there's a purple wire. It's on there. All the wires are on. I wrapped this electrical tape. I put on a couple of wire tie. There's the belt, and I'm showing you the belt. This is not how we're going to put the belt on now, but I'm showing you where the belt will go. You put the belt, lean it, bang, right? and the drum would be inside there. And you see how that works. That's the motor at the bottom. At the bottom there, it's run around the motor first. Okay, so I wanted to show you that because this is something here. All right. See, I have my headband on. I sit on the floor. Hey, I'm an old man. I'm still sitting on the floor. This, that's what we got to do. We got to get dirty sometimes with this job. And I want you guys to understand too, when you get an appliance technician, appreciate what they do. They work hard, and they I know everybody's frustrated and upset when they come and stuff like that, but they're not there to. They're there to help you. So a lot of these, an AC unit basically stays the same over the years. Electrical runs stay the same over the years. The thing with the appliances is a new appliance comes out every 6 months, and you very rarely get trained on a new appliance. And you can't take a technician out of the field every time a brand new model comes out to show them how to take it apart, because he will always be inside of some classroom and never in the field. We learn this stuff as we go along. A new model comes out, we take our basic knowledge and we apply it to the new model. We just basically, the difference is where are the screws on this model. That's the difference between them. All right, do a little editing magic here. Okay, so all right, I had taken a while. I think I had to step to the truck to do something before. All right, so I want to edit out the video. So see that hole in the back? There is a drum bearing guide on the back of the drum. I don't think I should have showed you, but you'll see it when you pull the drum out, and it sits right in there. And when you get it in, you'll tell the difference. Slide it in there. What I'm doing is a kind of a mistake here. Well, you should put the belt on first. All right. I think maybe not. Okay, so that's why I wanted to do that. See the rough side, the edged side of the belt goes down against the drum. All right, then you put it in. What I did do the mistake is there's usually a marking on the drum where the belt was sitting when it's been used for a while, and you can see where that marking is. You want to get the belt kind of sitting over there. Otherwise, it can snap off the dryer. I didn't do that in this case, but this dryer is usually good about it, where if you don't get it on and you spin it by hand a little bit, it will snap. It will get itself into place. This particular dryer is good about that. So I'm going to shine my flashlight in there. All right, so I can't see what I'm doing, and I think what I'm going to do is move my camera down so that you can see what I am doing here. Let me pull that here. All right. So I kind of got the bearing into that back hole, and I know it, and I will know that because you will not really be able to get the belt on. See, I'm making sure it's in there, and I can kind of feel it. If it's, see, that's not in, that's not in, that's not in, kind of feel it. I'm usually a little bit better than that. All right. All right, I had stopped recording on the other take there. So back to what I was doing here. All right, so I'm watch this. So I now know that it's in that hole, and I can feel that it's in that bearing. That small bearing is in that hole. I can feel that. All right, there's a difference. It won't slip down in the back. Even if I kind of pushed it straight down a little bit, it won't slip down out of that hole. I can only pull it forward. All right, I wrap the belt around. All right, and let's see here. Oh, I think I do I do it. Okay, see, you see the little black marking there? The rough side, and I put it on that side of the dryer. It depends. Some dryers have it on the front side, some have it on the little back side of the middle, some have it further back than that. But I want to get that around there a little bit, around close to that area. So it'll go on easy. So I did do that in this case. I didn't make that mistake. I usually just pop it on and just be on my way. But since I want to make a video to educate here, I'm going to shine the flashlight down in here so you can see what I'm doing, even though I can't see what I'm doing. All right, I'm doing this by feel. So When you do it, you won't be able to really see because you want to do it with both hands, and unless you have you're some kind of contortionist, you're not going to get your eyes down there to see what you're doing. But see, I'm reaching my hand, all right, and I'm reaching there, okay. I'll grab the belt and I'm going to put it around the end of the motor there, okay, and grab the other side of the belt, kind of hold them together. See the motor? You see, I put it around the motor. There we go. See the motor edge there. When you take it up there, I should have put my video camera down to show you the motor edge, and I kind of pull the wheel back. It's spring loaded, and kind of get that on the wheel. Now you don't want the belt to be twisted. You want that brown side to be on the wheel, and you don't want it to be twisted. And look at that! Look at that! That's a thing of beauty right there. I'm so good. All right, that's beauty right there, baby. I did that without even looking. I've done so many of them. Look at, you see, so black is sticking on the inside and the brown is on the outside. All right, it's almost some kind of weird underwear joke. And when I turn it a little bit by hand, I can see the blower wheel is moving. All right, so I know I got it there, and that's it, guys. So the turn up, see the blower wheels moving down there, right there. You see, look at that. I'm pointing it out. All right, and it's good to go. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Hey guys, if you got this far in the video, you may as well subscribe. This is the first video that I've made for this channel. And oh, there's the three lock, the three holders there. 1, 2, 3. That's where I put. Yeah, sometimes you got to wiggle it off. You got to wiggle them back on those 3, but that's where they sit. There's no screws on the bottom. They just sit there. All right. Remember, this looks like the whole unit looks like it can be forced together, but there's actually, oh, see, I took out some of that lint. I did that for people. It's like, it's real bad. You know, those lint filters that you have only catch about 10% of the lint. The other 90% is taken out of the 10% is caught by the lint filter. About 20% gets into that little area under the lint filter, and the rest of it's taken out of the house. You know, that's how that is. All right, so look at this now. I pick up this and put it, I got it on those 3 tabs on the bottom. Now this I kind of have to hold. All right, there's also some guides on the front of the dryer, the front face of the dryer. You'll see those guides when you put them in. You want to get them through those guides. You don't want to force it on without the guides, otherwise you can do it, but your dryer's not going to turn. You're going to snap the belt. All right, I put one in there, okay? Just get one side in, and the other side, as long as the guide's there, you can push it. See, I just see how just the side kind of just snapped out into the guide, and I kind of hold it with my leg a little bit, and voila, bam, that's it, guys. All right, when you're putting the top on, just a little piece of advice. On the back of it, all right, there's kind of guides there, because it looks like you can just put it on, put the 2 holes in the back, check the drum, check with your hand, do a slow turn, because if the belt is stuck, that means the wheel is not in the right place, or something's off the belt, or if the drum is loose or the belt's stuck, you don't have the belt on right. You have to take that guck off and go back and check how you have that belt on. It will happen to all of you the first time you do it, most of you. All right, I'm going to put that on. I kind of, there you go. See that little slide that I did? I kind of slid it on. And I'll put the 2 screws on, and that's it, guys. I will just let you know we go from here. Subscribe. This is not that hard to me of a video. Thanks for sitting through it. Subscribe and like. I'm going to do more videos of washer repairs and stuff. If you guys have any questions about any appliance repair, you can ask me in the comments below. I am also working on my website. And also, if you want to talk to me and ask about what's the best appliance purchase, what's the best model, I've worked on lots of models. Go back to my other video, my intro video for this channel, and I'll mention all that stuff. This is Gary D for Appliance Pro Advisor. I'm out. Peace.